I'm Richard Porter.
I'm Johnny Smith.
And this is Smith and Sniff, a podcast in which two friends talk about cars and many other things.
I've just experienced some quite serious turbulence on a flight yesterday.
Oh.
Yeah, yesterday. Because, you know, we've had some quite gusty, angry, rainy, stormy weather just come in.
Yes.
Yeah, some very, very crossed up landing techniques on the aeroplanes, I have to say.
Really?
Yeah.
Were you looking out of the window, but you could see straight down the runway?
Yes, we were. We were coming in at 45 degrees, swinging.
I love a Dirift. Well, I don't. I love to watch videos of Diriftor landings. I don't think I enjoy them. I don't think I've ever done one on a plane.
I had a guy.
Little bit.
I was in the Netherlands and just a short flight. And the guy that sat next to me didn't say anything to me for the whole flight. And then when we were coming in to land and the pilot had already pre-warned us that there was going to be an awful lot of turbulence, he just started talking to me non-stop about nothing in particular.
Do you like grapes? You ever had grapes?
Yeah.
You've been to Newcastle under Lyme?
Yeah, it's exactly that.
Was it scary, or did you just go,
no,
this happens all the time?
Yeah,
Everyone knows what they're doing.
I quite enjoy it. I'm not easily fed. You know, I'm not a nervous passenger in a car or a plane. I was cool with it. I thought it's going to be exciting. I mean, I said worst case scenario, we might get a wing scrape, but that's very rare.
No, you see, actually, that's the last time I was on a bumpy landing. It was very thumpy on the way down. That last bit when you can start to see the ground quite closely and you can see cars. Yeah. And then the point at which you can tell what the cars are, it was still quite jittery. And I thought, But we didn't do the full drifto, but we did. It was wobbly. And I just had this brief moment where I thought the end of the wing is going to smack the ground. Yeah. And I believe that in aviation terms, that's undesirable.
Yeah, that's bad. That is bad news. That is absolutely. Do you know the worst part of all this? I got on the aeroplane needing a poo.
Oh no!
Because I walked to the gate, and all of the toilets that I could see that I thought, I'll just pop in there. That'd be a quiet one. They all had cleaners in them with the sign up saying, "Sorry, go to the next one because we're cleaning this one." Well, and two of the lavs were kind of closed for action. So I just thought, never mind. I'll just get on the plane and. It's not the best place for one, but I'll just go on the plane. Okay. Well, okay. So I get on the plane. This is an unusual plane. I don't remember having this. One of the air hostesses, her seat is on the back of the toilet door.
Back of the door?
It's on the back of the door. She has to get off the seat in order for you to open and close the door. So she is sat as close behind the toilet door as she's hanging. She's hanging on the toilet door whilst you're doing whatever you need to do.
But what? She sat back down again?
She sat back down again, and I went in there, and I just didn't have the heart. I didn't have the heart. I thought, I've got an air hostess actually hanging on the back of the door. I'm not going to get done what I need to get done. No, and I was annoyed because I was all ready to sit down, maybe, in the terminal anyway, sit down, look through a few Car and Classic ads, do the usual ritual. No, this was not going to happen on the flight. So I aborted the aeronautical nugget and I went for a wee.
Which airline was this?
BA.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, they've gone to cock a bit, haven't they? I was going to say, I thought, was this a budget airline? And it's deliberate. They don't want you having a plop in their onboard loos because it's extra cleaning.
Yes.
And maybe there's some other technical reason. Maybe they've skimped on the tank. So
there just isn't.
Filling with solid.
There just
isn't. Yes, it just mists piss out into the atmosphere. And if you leave a log in there, that's going to cause an incident.
They immediately funnel the WAS, the urea, straight into the jets. It's urea injection, so it actually adds a few horsepower. The pilot knows when someone's gone for a horse piss because they get a little.
As the light comes on,
they get a bit of pep in the power.
but then the log warning light comes on, and he's got to radio back to the cabin crew and go, "Hello, sorry, Jeanette, has somebody dropped one in the rear galley because I thought you were there to guard against this by essentially pressing your head against the door." when anyone goes in.
Honestly,
to embarrass them.
I felt sorry for her because she was so close. I mean, it was just so intimate. You think, there's no way anyone could go in there and do the full suite.
It's just such a strange arrangement.
It was a very strange arrangement. I couldn't take a photo of it, but I promise you, I'll look up what plane it was, because I know there's a few aviation enthusiasts amongst the listeners.
Well, if it's BA with that and it's a Euro flight, would that not be an A320 or derivative?
Yes, I think it would.
I think they're exclusively A320.
And I was right at the back end. I was right at the back end for this lav. So.
Yes, we've got a lot of very clever listeners, and I think some of them do work in the aviation industry, because I would like it clarifying as well. I think planes do mist out piss.
Do you?
I don't know
Genuinely?
Sure. Yeah, I think they do. Do they not?
Piss misting.
I think it's something happens down there in the underfloor bit of the plane, and then I think it's sort of misted out. Maybe I'm wrong, because it must be sort of it's got disinfectant or some kind of anti. What's the word I'm looking for? What's the stuff you squirt on worktops?
It is antibacterial
kind of thing.
Yeah.
Something.
Well, maybe it doesn't.
If you're just misting urine into the atmosphere, I feel like that may be bad for things that it then gently will eventually rain down. Or it forms clouds, piss clouds. Yellow rain,
Honestly,
rain.
the meteorologists around the world are just going to be like, I can't believe we studied it all, we knew what was happening, and suddenly there's massive yellow clouds appearing we just don't know what to do with. And
it's because BA have deleted some crucial part of their aircraft to save money, which, I won't put it past them.
Gosh. Anyway, okay, I've also written down Terminal 5 Heathrow, budget holiday Branson. I saw a guy that looked just like Richard Branson, but he was obviously going on a much cut price holiday, and it really flummoxed me because he looked so much like the Branson. You think, what's he doing, like with his printed out boarding papers? And
he was a boarding pass printer.
He had it in a little small sleeve. You know the ones. There's always travellers with the clear plastic sleeve with all the itinerary printed out.
Yeah. But these days, they're usually, I would say, an older person, like over 60, is a boarding pass printer, because anyone else has just probably got the app.
Yeah, you just have it on the phone, don't you? But I don't like that, in case the phone has a brain hemorrhage and then you feel like a fraud. You're like, honestly, I've checked in and everything. Like, well, show it to us. Well, my phone stopped working. I dropped it in the lab.
Yeah. That must happen, because phones get dropped in loos all the time.
Absolutely, it has to happen, doesn't it? Well, yeah.
I don't know. But so you saw. I mean, I'm just gonna. You did say last week that you need to get your eyes checked, and you did message me the other week from Santa Pod and tell me you'd just seen Helen Mirren. So,
I did, didn't I?
I'm just.
That was definitely
Dame Helen Mirren was not enjoying a weekend at the Pod.
I swear that was Helen Mirren watching Top Fuel. I swear it was.
Okay. Uh-huh.
Honestly, I stared at her. She caught me staring at her twice, and I thought, I can't do it a third time. That is totally Helen Mirren. She's just doing something different.
Well, maybe she got into Top Fuel because she sort of got the kind of petrol head bug after doing one of those Fast and Furious films.
Oh, bloody hell,
She drove a Noble in one of them, didn't she? So, yeah,
she did a
Noble.
Noble.
Really piqued her interest.
She did, didn't she? I forgot to tell you about what happened. I realised the other week when I said that I'd gone to take the boys to drag racing. I told you we camped over. Did I tell you we camped over?
No, you didn't tell me that.
Okay, so
in a tent or in a thing?
Well,
in a vehicle.
Okay. So it's only one night, so it's not heavy duty camping. Trying to keep it fairly quick and easy. I took the Honda Element, and I took a small kind of like festival tent for my nephew. I said, if you camp next to the car, are you okay with that? He went, yeah, no problem. So he had a sort of £8 from Argos festival tent, and I slept in the Element with the seats all out the way, the clear floor area, because it's quite a big floor deck. With my son Wesson. Anyway, what did I do wrong?
You brought no pillows or bed linen of any sort.
Yes, that's exactly it.
Seriously?
No, that's exactly.
You absolute sleeve! Why would you do this?
Do you know what I did? I was so focused on bringing food. I brought a cool box. I bought ear defenders, sun cream, but I brought Wesson's sleeping bag. So Wesson had a carry mat and a sleeping bag, okay, and a pillow. So he had all his camping gear. And he was happy. And as I laid his bed out and stuff when we were in the camping field, he was excited because we've not really done this before. I just looked around the car casually and I realised I hadn't packed any of my own stuff. So do you know what I had? I had to sleep the night with, and it was a hot night. Admittedly, it was a hot night, and I had the little pop-out windows open for a bit of through air. I had to sleep in my pants and socks.
Yeah.
I took my T-shirt off and I rolled it up with a sweatshirt to try and fashion some kind of pillow, and it was an awful pillow, so it was better to sleep without it. And then I woke up at 5 a.m, like bolt upright, completely awake. And then I realised, as I woke up at 5 a.m, in one of the door pockets at the back of the Element, Bing, Dad, there's a travel blanket in there. Shit, there's a padded travel blanket. Brilliant. So I whipped it out and unrolled it, and then the smell hit me. Oh, gosh, what's this? But it turns out, the thing is the Element has been leaking a little bit through the B-pillar.
Oh.
And I've heard this is a thing. I mean, it is a 20-year-old car now, and it's a problem I need to solve, but I'll come on to that in a second. It had been leaking.
It doesn't have a B-pillar.
No, okay. It doesn't. It's leaking through the joins in the two doors when they
I see.
When they lock together, there's a load of rubber extrusions that make sure that there's no wind rustle or anything like that. And they let in a bit in heavy rain. They let in a bit of water, and it goes down the seatbelt bit. And anyway, so I pull this padded travel blanket out, thinking it was going to save me and let me go back to sleep. It absolutely stank of mould. But I didn't really realise because I was still half asleep. I sort of whipped it out, wrapped it around my legs, and then lay straight back. And then I thought, oh, my legs feel a bit damp. And then put my hand down and lifted the blanket up and went, this reeks. It smells of old mushrooms. What's going on? So I had to abort that mission. So I slept with pretty much nothing. I slept with nothing at all, and then woke up at dawn. But it didn't matter because the racing was amazing. But word of advice, kids, always pack bedding, because it's a shit idea going camping without bedding, even in hot weather. Now, there's something else that I must mention. This is
I'm too old to have that kind of grim night's sleep, if I can help it. And it just makes me feel
cross,
sad and tired, just hearing you describing shit pillow and no cover.
I'm going to do it again, but I'm going to do it again with the covers, because it proved to me that the Element, that lifestyle area in the back when the seats are hinged away, is massive. It's brilliant. And we had the little fridge, the little 12-volt fridge working, so we had a nice breakfast. That was great.
Okay, no, I can see that.
Local news alert for me. The local Just Eat delivery mafia, who I've mentioned before in their K11s. Do you remember I mentioned last time that one of them had been...
You did, yes. It had got a Morgan Aero 8 nose.
It had a V-shaped front end, exactly, but it was still running. Well, they run two K11s. One of them, the V-shaped Morgan face, has gone.
Oh.
And it's been replaced, but not by a K11. Chevy Matiz.
Ah, of course.
The Chevy Matiz has stepped up.
Another car of the damned.
It is the three-cylinder.
No one really wants a Chevy Matiz, do they? But
I quite like them.
I like the original Daewoo Matiz, but I just think they got more and more miserable. There's that era of South Korean. Miserable. I mean, they would have been Daewoo's that became Chevys.
Oh yeah,
and it's just like they became this sort of inexplicable showcase of grey, brittle plastic that I just couldn't enjoy.
Yeah. That's right.
Always terrible gear changes as well. It felt like they were broken.
It was notchy, and it was quite bad plastics. I think what Chevy did from memory is they made all the dash binnacles and clocks just all bigger because they thought that would be more sporty. I remember getting in a Chevy Spark and thinking, the speedo and the rev counter and the general dash binnacle is actually bigger than one of the road wheels outside. It's just like, why?
Yes. Now with 18-inch speedometer.
Yeah, honestly,
and
it was
14-inch wheels.
It's all so big, or is it for people with failing eyesight? I got absolutely no idea.
Maybe
It could be, couldn't it?
I don't know.
Could be.
I don't. I don't know why I'm doing this. I'm just having a little look
For
the
sale.
Chevy Matiz. God, so you can get into.
I love the way you
This
say
happened?
that.
This is the
You
first,
can get
the
into.
first ad. You, sir, I could get you into this car today. The first Matiz, Chevrolet Matiz, listed on Auto Trader is £1,199. But also, the first thing it says in the ad is, "Sorry, it's sold." Do dealers leave the ads up to sort of lure people in? Because you go, "Oh, fuck it, I'll find out what else they've got."
Yeah, that's it. And they'll go, look, I wanted a car that's about the same size as a Chevy Matiz. You go, I think I've got something for you. Why don't you come over? And actually, they arrange to go and see the dealer. The dealer hasn't got anything. They're just scrabbling around for something.
I'm sorry, we've got a Lamborghini Jalpa. That's similar.
Yeah, well, I'll give it to you for
I
a
don't
grand
get
more.
Yeah, a month.
So
Anyway, well, there's some misery Matizes here. So I just wondered if they're absolutely, giving them away. But I wouldn't say £1,200 is giving them away.
well, we know somebody that bought one new.
What?
We know someone that bought one
We, as
new.
in you and me.
Yeah, Ian Seabrook from Hubnut Video YouTube.
Did he buy one brand new?
He bought one brand new, still got it. It was his first
I didn't
brand
think he
new.
bought a brand new car in his life.
Well, this was a long time ago. I mean, he's owned it however many years that they've been. He's still got it. It's a one-owner car.
What, that Matiz of his he's had? I never knew that he'd had.
He
that from
bought
you.
that
How
brand
extraordinary.
new.
Bloody hell!
I know. I was surprised too, but also quite charmed.
Some big claims here. A private seller of an original shape Matiz. They're sort of something quite. You could see they were trying hard with this one. It was quite cute. His big round headlights and everything, and
Yeah, it's got a face.
that little 3-cylinder engine. I remember that having quite a nice gear shift and having quite a reasonable interior, and it feels like they just spunked it all away. Anyway, this Matiz is a 2003. It's only got 26,000 miles on it.
Oh, virgin.
Well, yeah.
Near virgin
Now,
spec.
the main photo shows it on the driveway. It's a private seller, and it shows it on the driveway of a very sort of tidy-looking 1950s detached house. Just incredibly neat lawns, lovely flower beds.
I love
It's all
seeing
good.
that. It paints a picture, doesn't it?
Well, I think that Quentin Wilson was fond of sometimes saying, "Buy the seller, not the car."
Oh,
And so here, now, parked behind the Matiz, which is in that sort of gold colour, is a Kia Magentis, is that?
a Magentis, the big
But
saloon.
of not the original Magentis, it's like the follow-up that wasn't as good.
Okay, shame.
Is it a Magenta? Do you know what? I can't even tell. It's some car.
Well, that will
There's some
have-
silver saloon car parked behind it, but then there's also... it's hard to make this out, but there also seems to be perhaps a spaceship-shaped Civic as well.
Oh, what a car. Still my favourite
So these
shapes of it.
people like a sort of innocuously dependable car.
If there's anybody listening who has or is close proximity to a Magentis, just have a look at the Cobra head inside. Just peek through the window.
Yes.
It has a very majestic, if nothing else, Cobra head.
No, because the original Magentis that we got here had, when it came over, first of all, had a spectacularly good ride. It was exquisite.
Well, they were.
And it
that
actually-
was their attempt to sort of almost Lexus, wasn't it?
Yeah, although it sort of looked like a bit of a, Cadillac ordered off Wish. It was,
Yes.
It was an interesting
Alibaba
looking car,
Cadillac,
isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah, but it had. It has sort of handled okay as well because it had. I think it had double wishbone front suspension. It was. They sort of put some effort in.
Yeah. Do you know? I'd
anyway,
have
this
one.
Matiz.
I'd have one now.
Yeah, do you know I would as well. We'll get onto that in a minute. I'd love the early Magentis. It was sort of doing its own thing a little bit. It was like a Korean Rover 75. It just went ride quality and then everything else.
Well, I know that
This
people
Matiz-
from Kia UK listen to this podcast. Listen, if you haven't got a clean Magentis, let's do a collab. Come on.
Yeah.
Let's collab on a clean early Magentis with a big old Cobra head auto shifter.
With this Matiz, it's near as damn it 1,900 quid, but there's a big claim in the ad, but then sort of an element of doubt creeps in at the end.
Well, hang on. Are we going to have to dust off Saranov?
No, it's not. This is a new one. This is best Matiz in the country. So,
so it's
they've claimed best Matiz in the country, but put a question mark at the end just so they don't look too boastful.
Well, they could be
Australian.
Australian.
It's a rhetorical question. They could be Australian.
They're actually, it's just a statement, but because it's said in an Australian way,
just can't help. So best Matiz in the country.
Yeah.
Right, and I've had this car about 4 years and I'm the second owner, but it's only got 26,000 miles on it. Anyway, if you want a really tidy looking Matiz from someone with a really tidy looking house, then
just go and get that.
Yeah, I would. Well, I mean, I say that if you need a Matiz, which I don't know if anyone does, but
continue. I need
be better than my frigging Panda. I'll tell you that. Do you know? I mentioned the head gasket had gone on my Panda.
Yeah.
Well, I got a message the other day from the garage. They emailed me. Paul at the garage just emailed me and went, we've uncovered some things. Do you want to come over?
Oh, gosh.
And you never want that, do you?
We've uncovered some things.
Because it means that basically they want to show you something because it's beyond belief how shit it is.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it would be a phone call or he'd just tell me in the email.
Yeah. So
I went over there because it's only up the road. And they've got my poor Panda there with the head off. And it's really weird. The number 4 cylinder is around where the gasket went, but it's got conspicuously a new piston in it.
Oh.
So cylinders 1 to 3, the crowns of the pistons are all, dark and sooty as they would be in a 107,000 mile car. And then number 4, ding, shiny AF. Why? What's gone on there? And then you look inside and it's got bore scoring.
Oh.
So the conclusion is by the time they've had the engine apart to sort the head and skimmed that and done the bore scoring, it would probably be cheaper just to put a different engine in.
So hang on a minute. So are you now looking for another Panda motor?
I am looking for another Panda motor. I've had feelers out, and I don't know. By the time this goes out, maybe I'll have got one. I'm not sure.
You could just go stage 3. Just go stage 3 Panda, Rich.
What does that even mean, though?
Well, it means
I just settle for a stage 0 that fucking works at this point. A bit tired of that car and its constant malfunctioning. But anyway, that's the thing. Buy cheap, buy twice is the lesson here. But yeah, if anyone's got
don't say that. You know what I'm
motor,
about to embark on.
Oh yeah. No, I mean, well, this is when you reveal your new car. We will also be able to reveal some amazing things about it that compare to my Panda. But anyway, for the moment, as far as you're aware, your new car works, and that means it's
the day you listen to this podcast, I'll be collecting it. I'll be collecting it.
Yeah. Anyway, so if anyone has got a Panda 100 horsepower motor, it's a 1.4 Fire engine from Fiat. They are in other models, but there are some specifics about the 100 horsepower in terms of the way the ancillaries are done and stuff like that, and the loom. So as far as I can gather. So it's probably best just to get one from.
Maybe someone races one and they've got a spare engine that's in a high state.
Well, no. Do you know what? You know what people do? They take them out of Panda 100 horsepower to put in the 1.4 T-Jet out of the 500 Abarth. That is a fairly well-worn path for Panda 100 horsepower enthusiasts who want a bit more oomph. So there are hopefully decent engines being taken out on a fairly regular basis. So they do come up. I'm just kind of hoping that I can find one and it's for sort of not silly money, because frankly I've put so much fucking cash into that car now that I will never see back ever. And I didn't buy it for that, but there's a point where it sticks in your craw all the same, isn't there, when you just go, this feels like I'm stuck in the sort of what they sometimes call the Concorde fallacy.
You're in too deep now. You're in too deep.
Exactly, I am. I just keep spending my way out of trouble. Anyway, so yeah, that was my plea this week. Also, I've had another electric car on test, and it's a Kia EV6 GT.
Yes. I
and
know.
it's got a big battery on it.
Yeah, it has got a big battery.
I've lived in this house for a year and I'm still charging electric cars off a 3-pin.
You are
which is-
such an armpit wank. I can't
I
believe
know,
you
it's
do
no
that.
good. I know. Well, it's not good for a number of reasons, but one of them is that when you plug in a car with a large battery, of course, it goes, yeah, I'll be to 100% in 9 days' time. And it's just... So I need to get a bloody charger put
Also,
in. I keep putting it off and putting it off.
Yeah, but I'm in a rented accommodation at home, and I have to charge on the 3-pin. And if you if you try and plug in anything else in the kitchen when I'm charging an electric car, it trips the whole house out every time. So it's either charge electric car or oven on or kettle on. Mustn't do all of those things. Cannot do all those
Yeah.
things.
Well, that's fair enough. That's a nuisance.
I wanted to just talk about so I've got a pair. I've got a pair of Hondas. I've got the Insight.
Yes.
Got the Element.
Is this? Are you just going to do a reliability flex on me because
No,
I've got a Fiat and it doesn't work?
No, I'm sympathising because they both leak. Okay, they both leak water, not horrendously, but in an annoying way. So I've been trying to work out before winter comes, because I can't stand cars that leak. They just pee me right off.
Yeah, yeah.
I was looking for something I can... They both leak in the same way, apparently. Those sort of like plastic covers over the gutters. The clips and the seals fail and water goes down where the seatbelt is and all that jazz. So, somebody recommended a special potion, Richard. Do you know what it's called? I've never heard of it in my life. It's big in the maritime world, apparently. It's called, and I will forward you the packaging. Honestly, I'll forward you.
Gull spunk.
It's called Captain Tolly's Creeping Crack Cure. I kid you not.
What?
Captain Tolly's Creeping Crack Cure.
Creeping crack.
Now they're not.
So it's for boats.
Yeah, it's for boats. It's for like honestly. I'll forward it
The
to you now.
captain bit immediately made me think boats. If he's a captain of a plane, I don't want to know. If there's a creeping crack on a plane, I don't put gunk into it.
You've got to see.
You need to get the plane mended properly.
You've got to see the packaging. It's so good. It says at the top,
Really?
unique penetrating sealant, finds and fixes leaks, the original. And there's a picture of I guess it's the profile silhouette of a captain wearing a captain's hat. But I'm just looking up the box art. Well, I'm not going to say art, because art would be. So it says, penetrating sealant, dependable since 1986, unique capillary action for unparalleled penetration. Captain Tolly's Creeping Crack Cure. It's supposed to be amazing. So I am about to embark on a heavy session with Captain Tolly and my Hondas.
Yeah.
And I'm really hoping.
I want to know more about the smell and consistency of this stuff, because I wonder if it's quite upsetting.
It's formulated to be as thin as water. So the point is it pours and it follows into wherever the water's gone. And then
I imagine it was really thick and gooey for some reason.
No, but what you do is you pour it in, and then you pour it in again like 15 minutes later, 20 minutes later.
Yeah.
And then you do it again, and then you do it again, and then you wait
every single day for the rest of the time you own the car.
No, and then you do it, and then you wait for 24 hours, and it should be absolutely the crack is filled.
Oh.
Yeah, that's it. And it works for concrete, fiberglass, metal, wood, ceramic, rubber, glass, other stuff, whatever your Captain Tolly. So, yeah, I'm really hoping this bloody stuff works before winter, because I love my Hondas. They've been really dependable, but bugger me, they're both leaking. It irritates me.
No, I know what you mean. A water leak is just an annoying thing, isn't it? There's no upside to a water leak.
No.
But,
and with all the wind we've been having lately, I need to... Is there anybody in the world that doesn't find it sort of like horribly, excruciatingly painful when you open a car door in the wind and the wind overstretches the door?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no one wants a windy, overstretched door. It's horrible. Isn't it horrible? Honestly, it's horrible.
I know. It's an underrated part of having sort of, mechanical sympathy built into your circuitry that you just go, no, not that.
It's like a really bad ankle sprain, or when you hear your knees clicking in a way that you haven't heard before, and you go, that can't be right.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm sorry, I was slightly distracted browsing Kia Magentis, because I just thought, I can't find a proper old school one that's still got the sort of faux Cadillac style front on it. But there's one turned up. 2002 Kia Magentis 2.4 V6. I think it was a 2.5 actually. Automatic, £480.
What?
Well, yes, but there's a problem.
Okay.
If you go to the description, it's in Clacton-on-Sea in Essex.
Oh, that'd be such a lovely day out with you.
Exactly. Well, it's a long old stretch from here, but we could do it. Kia Magentis 2002 Atomatic 2.4 petrol V6 engine automatic. All right, yeah.
What, you said automatic 3 times?
It says automatic. Runs and drive. Engine and gearbox in great condition. No catalytic has been stolen.
Oh.
No MOT, spares or repairs. Need it gone by tomorrow.
Well, hang on, when was the ad?
Amazing, because the ad was put up 3 weeks ago, so...
In all seriousness, you can probably put an aftermarket exhaust on that. And if it's in Clacton-on-Sea,
get Akrapovic to run something up for you, it'd be nice.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, put an Akrapovic on it. That'd be the only Kia Magentis auto. Atomatic.
Really loud exhaust on it, but then it's an auto, so it's like...
I'd be a lazy auto as well, so it goes...
Oh, you think it's got really smudgy changes on it?
They're horrible.
Yes, you can.
Horrible. It's that... I always hear that when I'm staying in a motel in America. You always hear someone go off up the road with a really smeary auto and a loud exhaust. It's so pathetic. Really, really buttery auto that it just isn't... It just saps all the power.
Now, hold up. There's a... I'm on Facebook Marketplace, so I'm just having to fight through all the hookers and drugs. But there's a Magentis. I mean, it's not even properly listed as a Magentis. It's just listed as Kia. And the price is recorded as £900 crossed through. It's been reduced to $750, which is confusing because it doesn't say whose
you should
dollars.
insist on paying him dollars or her.
Yeah, Australian dollars, because it's about 2 to 1 at the moment on Aussie dollars. So
is it really?
Yeah, apparently. What's going on here? There's no description of this car, and there's only 2 pictures. I mean, there's a whole seam in lazy car adverts. Like,
Facebook Marketplace takes it to a whole new level. Takes it
it's
just
worse
as
than
like
Auto
car
Trader now.
runs, need it gone tomorrow. 400 quid.
Thing.
Don't ask me any questions. Don't know anything about it. Well,
out of focus, upside down thing. Here it is.
I mean, they put less effort into selling a car than you would than some lovely people to free cycle something and actually measure a wardrobe and go, this is a free wardrobe. I don't want to throw it away because I'm trying to upcycle and be a good human. I've actually taken some crisp pictures of it and with a measuring tape next to all of the photos. You go, these are lovely people. And they've got another person.
Small tub of raspberry yogurt. I just bought it and I realised I don't like raspberry yogurt, so it's free to anyone who wants it. And then they've done 19 pictures of the bottom of the pot. And whereas there you've got some absolute oaf. I mean, there's some extraordinary ones on.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
I need to talk to you about. I need to talk to you about Volta Rural. This is a fact.
This is distinct from who I think you're talking about.
Honestly, so I started watching Miami Vice with the subtitles on because someone put them on and I don't know how to get rid of them.
Yes,
and it describes the music and all that stuff. Well. YouTube, as a YouTuber, I know that when you're browsing YouTube videos to watch, if you hover over them, you'll be able to watch the start of it and stuff in mute, and it has the subtitles that come up.
Yeah.
Okay, so I saw this chap, a YouTuber called Misha Charoudin. Charoudin? I actually don't know how you say his surname. I'm sorry, Misha. He's a UK YouTuber, and he took a Reliant kitten on the Nürburgring, which is why I thought this guy's interesting. So it brought up another one of his videos. It said, you might want to watch this. And it was legendary Volta Roll and Porsche 992 GT3 RS at the Nürburgring. Well, I didn't. I actually didn't watch all of it, but I took a screen grab, which I'll share with Patreons, because in the subtitles came up and it says, "But before I'm going to show you the video with the almighty, legendary Walter Rural." It came up. It says in the subtitles, Walter Rural, and I thought, this is a great new character. Walter Rural. In fact, I'm going to share it with you now, Rich. You can see it now, just to prove that I'm not lying. I'm not lying. It's real. It's Walter Rural.
He just drives tractors really fast, and them all. But before I'm reading the subtitle now, before I'm going to show you the video with the almighty legend. This has got a whiff of with the wickedly talented Walter Rural.
Walter.
Now, this is the guy. He claimed recently that if it was him, Max Verstappen, and Lewis Hamilton racing on the Nürburgring, he reckons he could hold his own and probably even beat Hamilton.
What? Really?
Yeah, not Walter Rural. I'm talking about this Misha guy. And then he's followed that up by, in the past few weeks, as far as I can gather, repeatedly crashing there. I don't want to cast aspersions on this guy's ring skills, but I think he might be talking out of his shitter.
His ring skills, I think. Well,
he's talking out of his ring.
Yeah, I mean, look, I just thought I really enjoyed the Reliant Kitten at the ring. As you know, I'm not a massive ring enthusiast.
No,
it's just a track I will never have the time, inclination, brain power to learn. Therefore, I'm out. Because I don't really want... People have always gone, you must take one of your cars on the ring, take your Allegro to the ring. No, I'm not taking my pissing Allegro to the ring. Because I'll have someone plough into it in a hired Megane, and then the paperwork will be unbearably long and boring. And it's like, I just can't be bothered. I live about 40 miles from Silverstone and about 3 other half-decent tracks. Why would I go to the Nürburgring? Anyway, so we won't get into a ring chat, but... yeah, Walter Rural, I think, could be a new character. I quite like him. Who would his arch nemesis be? It'd be someone urban.
Well, it
would.
I mean,
Max Suburban.
Town.
Max Suburban.
What the fuck?
Yes.
Yeah, we might need to workshop this one. I don't know. Yes, but then what's he doing? Just like constantly.
Oh, but what's Walter
round fields?
Oh, he's constantly saying that if you reduce any of the rights of farmers, there'll be no food on the table. He firmly believes in driving around with no seatbelt on because it's easier to be flung free from the car if there was an accident. It's just a safer method.
Oh, one of those people.
Yeah, one of those people. Yeah. I used to go to college with a guy like that. Very unusual. Very unusual mindset. Yeah.
Well, it's just stupid.
It is just stupid.
Stupid.
But the thing about Walter Rural is no one can beat him in the lanes, the high hedge lanes. That's his.
Oh,
that's his
home. That's his Nürburgring.
That's his groove.
The back lanes. Yeah.
It's the back lanes of the rural village in which he lives in Germany. He can't be beaten. That's a fact.
Okay, good. Well, that's good. Yeah.
I don't want to keep talking about my Hondas, but I also had a terrible invisible curb strike at night.
What?
Yeah, 4 nights ago. Dark. I'm driving to a job.
Make it sound.
Well,
it was night, and I was driving to a job. It makes it sound like you get up to. You're an assassin.
It's simple scene setting, Richard. It's simple scene setting.
Okay,
and I came off the motorway onto one of these large roundabouts that's over the motorway. I was following the sat nav because I didn't know where I was going, and I could see it was the third exit. So I came round in the little insight. Could see my exit was coming up, indicated left and moved across to the left to go off, and I didn't see it. I drove straight over an island.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it had no signs on it, no illumination, and it was grey, just like the road. I didn't see it. I mean, genuinely didn't see it. I drove over it about
That must have sounded horrible.
40 miles an hour I drove over it in a Honda Insight, which has, 155 tyres?
Yeah.
It was horrible. Horrible.
Is it all right, the car?
It seems to be. I was fully expecting 2 punctures. And I was
Yeah.
really worried about the buckled wheels because they're really hard wheels to get. They're quite unobtainium now.
But did you bang your pan as you went over the island?
Didn't bang the pan. I couldn't believe it. So it must have been fairly low. But I think it's one of those ones that would have had an illuminated bollard on at some point, and that's obviously been smashed off years ago.
Yeah.
And it had loads of swept dirt and chippings that I think made the curb less severe. But yeah, it was a real shock.
Did you pull over immediately and have to do that sort of joyless, dark night, standing there with the hazards on, just checking everything's all right?
No, because I'd already I was already kind of on the slip road immediately. But I'm glad I didn't have any onboard cameras because the amount of sort of confused swearing, because I just didn't know what had happened. I just didn't see it.
Yeah.
Did not see it.
Yikes!
Yeah, it was a yikes. I have to say, it was a yikes.
I was just going to, before I forget, and it's annoying for listeners, that I was just going to go back to the Kia EV6 GT.
I thought you were going back to the Magentas. I was going to say, not another Magenta.
Oh, yeah. No, I think that would
Enough
be too
now
much.
with the Magentas.
Although I did just see one for sale somewhere that had got a black leather interior that had sort of gone so shiny it looked like a wetsuit. It was just weird.
What, like those wet look leggings that were fashionable a few years ago?
That's what it looked like. Wet look leggings.
Wet look.
Yes. I never.
Wet look
leggings
leather.
were always something that I was not really aware of until I remember seeing, the band Little Mix.
Yes.
I remember seeing them on telly, and they were wearing wet look leggings. But I was like, what the fuck's going on here? Have they all waded to the stage? This is bizarre.
They all just before they went on, there was a burst hose near the entrance.
Yes,
and they had to run through it.
Sorry, Little Mix. Anyway, yeah, the Kia EV6 GT, which you've driven, I know.
Yeah, I have.
Because I've seen your report. In fact, that was the one you drove to Brussels, wasn't it?
That was
Bruges.
Yeah, that's right, Bruges. Yeah, I drove that to Bruges just before Christmas. Yeah.
And then got pissed and then realised you had to do a closing piece to camera standing next to the
Stop
car.
it! I was hoping you wouldn't remind people about that. Yes.
No, because it was the highlight of the Christmas season. Well, anyway, so yes, I kind of agreed with what you were saying. It's like, I just don't. It's a bit much, isn't it?
Yeah,
but for no real reason except
there's no real
showing off on Kia's part.
I just don't think there's enough gains. I think the original car is a very well-rounded car in terms of range, performance, comfort, handling. I think it's a really good package, and the GT sort of chasing the Tesla numbers, but not quite reaching them, and compromising the other good parts of it. So I think the seats. I remember the seats being not as good as the non-GT seats, and there was just a few things.
No, they're not, are they?
No,
I did quite a bit of mileage in it, a couple of long journeys, and it was. In fact, one of them just took way longer than it should have done. I was in the car for over 4 hours, and with one stop, and I had a sort of achy leg when I got out, and I thought. I did a long old stint. I did here to the Lake District and back in a normal EV6 last year or the year before.
Yeah.
And no, I don't remember that. That was just like easy peasy. But the range is worse, so you've got that sort of slight sense of, and then it's just not as comfortable. No. And there's no point. I had it in eco mode because there was no need on the motorway. But you put it in that GT mode, and fuck me, it's actually a bit unruly, isn't it? You feel like you could probably have an accident in it from just being a knob.
Oh, it's everything's so intense, and some people like that. But I think the Koreans don't get it very wrong lately, and I think it's not a car it's not better than its original flavoured brother.
Because that's it. It's got so much power, but then it's still quite a big, heavy car.
Yeah.
So it's not a sports car.
No.
It's a big hatchback that's now inexplicably got more power than a Lamborghini Diablo, and you kind of go, that sounds fun on paper, but actually the novelty just seems to wear off. The
novelty does wear off, but I'm also a bigger fan of Taycans that are lower spec, I've said this before on a
Yes, I
previous
remember you saying,
cast.
yeah.
I said, my favourite Taycans are the lower ranking cars, not the turbos and not the Turbo S's. Because once you've given it a hard squirt here and there and impressed a few friends and stuff, you go, yeah, but what have I bought an electric car for? It's usually to do everyday stuff. Because if you can afford a Taycan as an everyday car, you can probably afford like a classic for the weekend or something. Because they're not bloody cheap. So. Yeah, the best Taycan I ever spent time in, and I thoroughly enjoyed it, was the big battery, single motor, rear wheel drive car. It was just a joy, and I got shed loads of miles out of it. And no, it wasn't like savagely quick, but it was rapid. It was rapid, and it was engaging. And I just thought that's enough for me. If I was buying it to do what I would want to do, driving on jobs, picking the children up, doing all the everyday shizzle. That's the one, and it's cheaper. It was like under 70 grand, which is a lot of money, I know, but for a Taycan, it's not.
Well, yeah, because you can go 130 on.
Oh, Turbo S is immediately
one of those.
120, 130, something like that, and loads of people buy them.
Yeah.
Most people buy the turbos and the Turbo S's, which is just like. Yeah.
Do they? I don't. I mean, yeah, but that's the thing. It's just, there is a limit, and you're right. It's impress your friends, and then.
And then what?
And it's fine if you sort of don't have to use it and you just carry it around. It's fine, but it's I feel like the EV6 GT. It's actually the range is worse, the seats are worse. It's just slightly worse than the normal EV6, which is a really, really nice car.
Yeah, but you've paid like 14 or 12 more for the privilege of that, which immediately makes me raise an eyebrow like Roger Moore.
Also, don't you find that cars are like people that were sort of some people you just click with and you'll overlook the failings or the things they do that are annoying, but then some people just immediately you don't rub along with, and so everything they do becomes annoying. Stuff I noticed in the EV6 that I hadn't it didn't really bother me last time, but because I didn't warm to the GT, like the way that you have to toggle that central touch panel between the heater and the controls for some of the media stuff.
Yes. That is a bit of a
you
grind,
actually have
isn't
to
it?
do that slightly more than you think, just, if you just want to adjust the temperature or something, but then you also, for some reason, the touch screen, just defaulted to a central thing. I'm sure there used to be a way in other Kias of accessing the menu more quickly, but it felt like the home button disappeared, so you'd use the ones off the touch controls, but you have to toggle between. It's like, and it started to get on my tits.
No, I know exactly what you mean.
I'd say EV6, nice car. EV6 GT,
just don't really need it. Just don't really need it.
No, don't really need it. It's very, impressive they could do it. Well done, but don't do it again.
So thanks to everyone for posting clips, memories of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe.
Oh my God.
We've had quite a lot of it. But it has made me giggle, I have to say. It's reminded me of just how awful it was. And Grumpy Skeletor on Twitter X, Grumpy Skeletor. If you're not following him, already, you ought to be, because it is very witty, very satirical. So yeah, He-Man, brilliant. Terrible hair. Apart from my curb strike on the motorway, the other thing, I'm going to be a bit partridge because I'm just going to go back to another journey I've done this week. Done a lot of motorway work. A balloon. Driving along the motorway, slowing down from 70, so probably 60 because there's quite a lot of cars, and just a car started swerving in front of me, and I realised everyone is swerving just a children's red balloon. That's all it was. It was just a children's red balloon. That's all it was. It really tickled me because I started singing 99 Love Ballon straight away afterwards because I just thought it was funny. But have you ever seen a party balloon on the motorway? Has anybody?
Well, no, but if I did, I would think I'd be quite confident my car could bat it out of the way rather than crumpling like a bag because it's a balloon. What the fuck are people thinking?
I don't know, but it wasn't
well, I
on
suppose
the
they're
ground.
not thinking, are they? They're sort of instinctively going, as a thing, and then swerving.
It was sort of human head height from memory, and of course when cars were rushing by either side, the wind was making it jerk left and right, so it was like trying to
oh no.
so really hard to second guess. the balloon.
Oh, yeah.
And
if that thing touches us,
honestly,
this car will go up like a powder keg.
It really tickled me. But then, when not long after that, we slowed down because there'd been a breakdown in the fast lane. And by the way, people who break down in the fast lane, in your car, unless you've got a seized engine and it locks solid at 70 miles an hour, can I just say that if you've lost all power and you've got a car problem, get the fucking thing off the fast lane into the hard shoulder. You're going 70, you've got quite a bit of time before it goes to 0 mile an hour.
Well, yeah, I've thought about this, though, and if you've lost power, then that's easier said than done, isn't it? Because you're slowing down now inexorably and everything else isn't. You've got to cross 2 lanes.
Yeah, but you punch the hazard warnings and you check your blind spot like a blooming owl and you just pull over.
I don't know. Would you punch the hazard? I suppose.
I punch the hazards instantly.
It's not clear what's going on.
Well, it's clear that there's something unclear.
Like
that's what the hazard warning light's for. Yeah. It's clear that there's something going on, so pay attention.
I was once on, thankfully, a very quiet motorway on Christmas morning, of all things. And suddenly, in the outside lane, or lane 3, if you want to sound like a police person, there was a big lump of something metal. And so I saw it, thankfully, in time and just ducked into the next lane in. And then, just because the motorway was curving a little bit, there was just around the curve, there was a Peugeot 206 right in the middle of the outside lane.
Oh.
And I realised, I was like, the thing that was on the road, I think it was like a bit of the gearbox.
I was just about to say, was it the gearbox?
It was a big casing, like a gearbox casing, basically, or at least part of it.
Yeah, it just shut off.
What the fuck had happened? Yeah. So I think they've got a pretty solid excuse for suddenly stopping in the outside lane because a really functional part of the car has dropped off. But
seriously, I would do all I could to not stop in there, given that you'll die so easily.
I mean, absolutely, it would be shit scary and extremely dangerous. But also, I suppose some, but not all, central reservations have a bit of
a gap,
gravelly stuff, don't they? So
yes,
yeah, just try and tuck it in as hard as you can.
Well, it's funny you should mention the little bit between the two crash barriers, because as the traffic calmed down about 20 minutes after the balloon, we children's red balloon.
Just the Radio 2 travel reports, and we're getting calls about a balloon on the M4.
A party balloon.
Yeah, what, like a fucking hot air balloon? Yeah. No, it's a party balloon.
It says, Happy 8th birthday, Harriet. Yeah, thanks for that. Cheers.
Police are advising people to avoid the area if at all possible.
Yeah. So we slowed down. And then we were at a standstill, but not for long, but long enough where you just look around. You look at this, you go, I normally drive past this at 70, 80. I wouldn't ever look at this. And I look into the central reservation bit, and I see 2 things. They're not near one another. They're, I don't know, 15 metres away from one another. First thing I see is a cam belt, and I just think, oh God, that's bad. That can't have gone well, can it? It's nobody just changes their cam belt on the motorway, so that's come off at speed.
I was chewing on something in the car, and then I realised it's a bloody cam belt, so I threw it out the window.
Threw it out the window. I thought it was a snake. It's not a licorice bootlace; it's a cam belt. So that was there, and I sort of giggled, and then went, bloody hell! I bet that was serious. And then further down the road, I see just one hanging there. With the hose still attached, a full front caliper, brake caliper.
What?
A whole brake caliper. Like, who loses an entire caliper on the motorway? I mean, again, that must have been a hell of a thing to have come off.
Do you think? Yeah. Was that maybe there was an accident and it came off? Because surely it doesn't just come off. And
that's what I was thinking.
Maybe it does. I mean,
I was thinking
Jesus, I don't know.
Someone had a big crash and it kind of flew off mid-collision. Who knows? But it was there. It was just a whole caliper. I wish I'd taken a photo of it because, again, it made me giggle and then go, oh, bloody hell, if that could speak. Oh, you bastard. Oh. So, yeah, balloon, caliper, cam belt. It's the motorway
if you've seen
generation.
anything stranger than that on a motorway, then do get in touch. Hello at Smith & Sniff buzznus.com is our
Yeah.
email address for that, and any other buzznus that you might want to get in touch with. We more ruined Jags coming in.
Oh gosh.
It's just endless, isn't it? There's some this one chap called. Okay, he works at another car company, so I'm not going to say his full name in case we're not supposed to. His first name is Richard, but Richard sent us. Just can't be too careful, can you?
I'm glad I didn't read this one out.
No, he's spotted an XKR. I think it's an R. Yeah, it looks like it's an R. That's been given a sort of motorsport livery, a Shell motorsport livery, which is, all well and good. But then it's got what appears to be the rear wing off an Escort Cosworth crudely attached to the hatchback.
Oh.
Well, I don't know why. I mean, that can't... But yes, luridly vandalised XKR. In fact, it's parked next to another one that's got a sort of like a Toyota Supra kind of hoop wing on it and another sort of faux motorsport livery, and they've both got red wheels.
Do they look awful?
I mean, they...
Be honest.
Not to my taste. The one that I can't see so much of that's just got this unspecified, it might be Repsol or something, motorsport livery on it. Just, it looks okay. It does kind of passably look like a racing car, but then I don't know. There was somebody the other day. I'll never find this now. There's somebody on Twitter who it's not Jag vandalism as such. Yeah, it's a chap called James Key. Spotted this XF in Leeds. Now, it appears to be a totally standard XF, except that next to the number plate on the back...
Oh, don't say.
Someone's just put a sticker that says Devil.
Oh, gosh, why is it always satanic references to the Jags?
Well, this is the thing. Is there something we're missing here about the connection between satanic worship and Jaguars? Because otherwise I don't get it, because there was that XJ the other week that was all covered in shizzle. What did you send me? Was there a Peugeot van that was also covered in Satanist slogans?
Absolutely lathered in them. Yeah, there were crucifixes screwed to the metal upside down. It said 666, the devil, Satan.
But do you think that sounds? It looks exactly like the way the things that were done to that XJ. Is it the XJ owner also got a Peugeot partner?
Yeah, maybe that's the work van, isn't it?
In which case. Oh, okay. But then for weekends, just popping over to Bath to have a look at some stuff. We'll take the Satanist XJ instead. It's more comfortable than the van. It's not as dusty. I saw this van the other day, a Ford Transit Connect, and it had. It's like I've become slightly obsessed with this. I saw this. It was a few weeks ago. The dustiest van interior you can find.
Oh gosh, there's some terrible ones.
Because there's some incredible examples where you just go, there come a point where I think I'd just have given that a wipe, but it's sort of too late now. You're going to make a paste if you wipe that with a wet cloth.
That is, park it outside your place of work if your place of work's got an airline. Open all the doors, put breathing mask on, and just go in there and blast it with an airline. Make sure you take out all your pens. It's the quickest way to do it. Take your pens.
Receipts for your expenses.
Take all your important receipts out, otherwise you're going to shower the industrial estate with receipts and personal material. But take all that stuff out and then just airline it and then vacuum it when all the dust is settled. That's the quickest way. That's a dad spec thing to do when you've been to the beach. Like a dad who's got a lot of tools in the garage. Instead of trying to vacuum out the sand, you just airline the whole damn car. All the crevices.
It's good. Yeah.
Talking of sand and dust,
I don't have an airline,
I forgot to say, when I went on holiday a few months back, at the airport, I was admiring all of the long wheelbase carts for moving disabled people and kind of old people about within the building. And I think they're getting longer and longer wheelbase, to the point where sometimes they don't properly go around the corners in the terminal. Because it's like the 12-seat golf cart. It's almost bowing in the middle, breaking like a sausage dog's spine. But I noticed airside. I was always looking at airside vehicles. And at this place, they had quite a few small lorries. And I think they were Toyota lorries, like 7.5 tonners. and smaller. But what was interesting is they all had snorkels. They all had air intake snorkels, all of them.
What?
Yeah, so it just looked like a Luton-bodied Toyota Hiace type thing. I don't actually know what it was. I did take a picture. I'll share the picture with patrons. But it had a snorkel. They all had a weird snorkel, but it wasn't a cool one that was flush tight with the A-pillar. It looked like a New Age traveller's wood-burning stove chimney with a kind of like domed mushroom top. What
could be the reason for that? That's really odd.
I don't know. Is it? Does it get too hot? Is the air too hot under the bonnet? I don't know. Is it losing power?
The jet wash? No, that doesn't sound right. I don't know. I'm sure a listener will know about this because, as we've established, our listeners are clever and some of them work in aviation, I believe. So I don't know if you know the answer to this one. Why do airport vehicles have snorkels?
In a hot country, not in Britain.
In a hot country, okay.
Yeah.
Hello at smithandsniff.com.
Hello, is it Smith and Sniff you're looking for?
Yeah, don't do that as the email address. It won't get to us. But, well, it might. I don't know. Yes, before we end this, I have three things to tell you. They are, one, Johnny has a solo YouTube channel. It's called the Wait Show, in which Johnny gets out of a taxi and bids it goodbye before realising he's left something important inside. This week, he's in Preston, waving goodbye to a Toyota Auris minicab.
Oh, gosh.
Before remembering he's left a rucksack and some casual shoes in the boot. If that's not to your taste, there's always the Late Break Show. Lots of excellent videos on there. What's our latest wicked?
I actually don't know. I can't remember.
Well, go to the Late Break Show on YouTube, and it'll be a lovely surprise,
sweet, lovely
for everyone, including Johnny.
What I can tell you, sweet. There's many videos. In fact, I think we're about to have uploaded our 300th video on the Late Break Show.
Bloody hell.
Which justifies why my face looks a little tired. But yeah, and we've a fortnight ago when this goes out, we had over 100 million views across the channel, which is quite mind-boggling stats, really.
Bloody hell.
100 million.
Yeah.
So thanks to everybody that watches and supports. And I will be revealing the extremely cheap, possibly not as exciting as you would like it to be, car that I've purchased very soon, believe.
Yeah.
It's not, by the way, it's not Calvin Harris's Prelude 2.2, although I thank you to all the people that forwarded me that, and also behind the scenes filming of that music video showing Calvin wearing a bad tracksuit. We are tempted. I am tempted by it, but alas, not at the moment.
Good. What else have we got? Oh, yeah. So second thing I've got to tell you is I've got various books out. One of them is called How to Be a Motoring Journalist by Roy Lanchester. Spoof autobiography of a fake car journo. His real counterparts have been blithering on this week about the change in the rules about when internal combustion cars will not be allowed for sale in the UK, getting a load of their facts wrong as ever. So thanks, Real Roy's. But if you want to read the fake Roy, because he is almost as bad as the real ones, then that's the book for you. And the third thing I've got to tell you is that Elton John was classically trained but couldn't go on to be a concert pianist because his hands were too small.
Really?
Yeah, he's got really little hands. And he went to the Royal Academy of Music.
Wow.
And was classically trained. And you know, he's obviously a very excellent pianist, but you need a bit of a span. Ideally, you can do an octave with one hand in a classically trained setting, and he couldn't, so he went off and became a popular music pianist instead. And I think it's gone all right for him. So that's.
I was going to say, having that disadvantage was an advantage.
Yeah, exactly. Make the best of what you've got, or some kind of... Someone said that's how He-Man used to end, with sort of Inspector Gadget style, with some kind of little moral lesson.
Oh, it was.
Every episode.
He turned to the camera like Jerry Springer used to.
Yes.
And say, of course, not everyone tries to kill their loved one and bury them under the patio. Sometimes you just have to talk. And
just talking is as
every
good.
day, just talk to them.
Knifing.
And if you have any fears, don't be afraid to express your fears. Anyway, next week, I'm going to be kicking the shit out of Skeletor.
Again.
And Skeletor's going to be trying to nick the keys to my castle.
Just basically this skeletal squatter. Very much like a no-name full suspension mountain bike. In some ways, but
I bet Skeletor's got a brother who's a bit more go with the flow, less intense, probably enjoys a bit of weed. And I'm sure he's got some sort of grey narrowboat that's ex-military because he needs to have a sinister edge to it. So it's
an ex-military narrowboat.
Yeah, like a gunboat. It's just like a small.
I don't think there's such a thing.
Like a small, low gunboat. I don't know.
What, in case trouble breaks out on the Shropshire Union? Yeah. Right then, well, that's enough for this. We'll do it all again next week, but with a twist, because next week we will be in the Americas at Rennsport, the Porsche event in Northern California.
Maybe that's a clue as to what car I've purchased recently.
Shh, don't tell them, Pike. So we will speak to you from there. Until then, thank you ever so much for listening. Goodbye.
Thanks, everyone. Bye. Love you. Bye.
You know just what to do. Like and subscribe and review. You know just what to do. Like and subscribe and review. You know just what to do. Like and subscribe and review.
When people describe a scenario and they say, oh, and then it all kicked off, I love that.
But I like it in relation to things that are obviously not kicking off, like two squirrels getting a bit aggy with each other. Whoop, it's kicking off in the garden.
It's all kicking off.